so excited to introduce to you somebody who I consider a personal friend of mine. So, Representative Vikki Goodwin represents Texas House District 47 in Western Travis County, and she's been representing this county since 2019. She is a grade A legislator, and she has also announced that she's planning on running for lieutenant governor in 2016. So, I'm so excited that she's here and that she's here to have a conversation with us tonight. So, welcome, Vikki. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for putting this on. It was really great seeing all those different cities that people are here from. So, lots of engagement with Kamala Harris now being at the top of the ticket and Walls. There's just so much excitement. It's wonderful to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good opportunity for us to really turn Texas blue. And if we don't turn Texas blue, we're going to get very close. So, Vikki, I have a couple questions for you. What would gaining seats for Democrats mean in this upcoming 89th legislature? If we gain some seats, what does it actually mean to support all of you that are in elected office?
It would mean a whole lot. For one thing, we know the governor's number one push is for vouchers. So if we gain a few seats in the House, we can defeat vouchers once again for the sixth time. So last regular session and the four special sessions, we defeated vouchers, and we need to do so again. But my goal is beyond just a few. I want to flip 12, because if we flipped 12 seats and hold on to the ones that we have, we would have a Democratic majority in the Texas House. We could choose our speaker. We could have a Democratic speaker for the first time in I don't know how many years. And that would just have such an impact, because right now we have heard members like Tom Alverson, who said if he were speaker, there would not be a single Democratic chair, and we wouldn't hear any Democratic bills until they had gotten all of their Republican priorities passed. So it will make a huge difference if we flip some seats.
Absolutely. Now, Project 2025 is like the buzzword that everybody's using right now, but Texans know differently. We know that Texas has been ground zero for Project 2025, and we know that their policies that are in this document have already been impacting families here in Texas. And do you think, there's so much energy behind Harrison Walz. Do you think that the tide is changing and we can finally start fighting back Christian nationalism in Texas?
I mean, I sure hope so. I've seen some signs pushing back on it. There is separation of church and state, but the Republicans seem to have forgotten that. There's something hopeful in that we passed the bill last session saying that schools could bring in clergy to be school counselors, but it had to go up to a vote at the local school boards. And I have not heard about a single school district that allows the chaplains to be school counselors. So that's positive. We also push back on the 10 Commandments being in the classroom, and I've heard a lot of people saying that just doesn't really make sense. How now you're going to put the teacher in the position of having to explain to her students what covet thy neighbor's wife means?
Right, exactly. So there were so many terrible bills that passed this last legislative session in Texas. You kind of keep on thinking, how much worse can it possibly get? But how could Democratic gains impact, education, healthcare, and gun safety in this next legislative session?
Yeah, Democrats have a lot of good bills that we try to get passed, and certainly Democratic gains will make a difference in the House. But really, it's not going to change substantially until we have a different governor and different lieutenant governor. But here are some of the things that Democrats want to do. We want to make sure that freedom exists and democracy exists. So freedom for a woman to be able to get the medical care that she needs. We've seen so many women who've been harmed by the strict abortion ban that we have in the state. So certainly Democrats are in favor of changing that and making sure that doctors aren't threatened for their livelihoods either. That's allowing people to be able to vote, allowing people to have a say in their democracy. I think in addition to making it as convenient as possible for people to vote, we should also have citizen-led referendums where if you have a certain percentage of your voting population signing a petition saying we want something changed, that could be added to our Constitution, that it could be put up for a vote of the people. That's the best version of democracy, when they get a direct say in what happens, what the regulations are. And gun safety. We have tried to get some sensible gun safety legislation passed, which until we have more Democrats in the legislature, that's not going to happen. But the vast majority of Texans do not want to have another Santa Fe or Uvalde or El Paso. You can name so many cities, and what first comes to mind when you name those cities are the mass shootings that have happened there. And that's something that we can and must change.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. It's very concerning considering a lot of the tweets have been put out by the Republicans in the last couple days, the 48 hours, where they want to let everybody be armed at the Texas State Fair. And this is after somebody was killed last year at the Texas State Fair with a firearm. And it's like, yeah, what could happen? Like, seriously, like, these people are crazy. So we have some serious work cut out for us, and they're already letting us in on what they have planned for the 89th. So,
right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening, Vikki. I really appreciate you being here.